Kyara, as you lie down, trying to resist the pull of sleep, you feel something sweet in your mouth, cold, the taste of mint, and you close your eyes irresistibly, and you are pulled down into white mist. You find yourself floating, and the cold around you begins to change into warmth. A warmth that swells up inside you and surrounds you like you are wrapped in curtains of wind. You blink your eyes open, and where there was white, there is now red and gold and green. Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
A natural 20. You know exactly where you are, Kyara. You are in one of the ballrooms of the Ignited Citadel, the grand castle in the center of Jalraha, the capital of Abjor. In fact, with a natural 20, I think you even have a sense of what time period this would have been. Maybe 6 or 7 years ago? This place is familiar to you. And as you look out and step forward into the ballroom, you begin to recognize faces. Faces that are very familiar to you. People are dancing here. Friends, family. You see red, gold, purple, green-skinned tieflings draped in silks and muslin. You see Azamar and Tabaxi, hand in hand, spinning. You see the familiar face of Tiger's Eye, a large woman, a tiger Tabaxi, who waves to you as you step into the ballroom. And you hear a voice, a whisper in your mind. Now, this is interesting. I wasn't expecting you back so soon. And you look down, and you see perched on your shoulder is a tiny tiger in the form of a house cat.
Oh. Oh.
Hello.
Stay away.
Well, yes, I suppose not. I felt drawn to you. Are we... Oh, how fascinating.
Is it?
Well, yes. Normally I don't interact as much with this side of... The cat leaps off of your shoulder, and as it lands, you can see that the tiled floor stretching out ahead of you is disturbed. Where it should be solid, instead puffs of white mist float up and turn into smoke, like something about this cat's presence is burning away parts of the illusion of this dream.
Oh. Well, if you're here, are you here to stay?
I can stay. I can watch. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm always here for a good time.
Shall we dance?
Let's do it.
Okay. If you want to step forward into the ballroom on Multiverse, you can do so.
Okay. See if I can figure out how to do that.
There you go.
How do I zoom out again?
There we go.
Ooh, yes. All right, is this the ballroom?
This is the ballroom. A a place that is intensely familiar to you, as there are parties thrown here, I would say, every week or so. There are parties every night in Jalraha, but they rotate between ballrooms, so there are chances to clean them up a little bit from the effects of the nights previous.
That makes sense.
You begin to hear a music swelling up around you. Sound of bards playing, bells. Will you give me a history check?
Yeah. All the way to the other end of the spectrum with a natural 1.
Oh, that is so interesting. So with a natural 1, you don't recognize the song. You don't recognize the voice of the bard either. Although you do know, usually at these balls, it is tradition for there to be a single singer who is dictating the form of the dance for everyone else. Usually they will tell a story that the dancers will carry out in the form of a dancing play, a dance drama, sometimes accompanied by costumes or masks. But looking around, although you do recognize some of the patterns of the people dancing, you're not sure what story they're evoking tonight. Would you give me a performance check?
Oh, look, a normal roll. That is a 18.
An 18. Wonderful. Would you like to describe how Kyara dances for me?
When Kyara dances, and I think as far as trained dancers go, they would be pretty alarmed because she dances without spotting. Kyara, but when she spins, there's no effort to not make themselves dizzy. It's as though losing themselves to the music and the movement and the motion is part of the point. So Kyara dances in a way that viewers, 6 years later, will very much recognize as the way they live their life. It's at this moment we're dancing and that's all we're doing. So it's all about the sound of the footsteps around them, the chime of the ankle on the anklets on the people as they run and jump and twirl. So Kyara looks a little bit like a whirlwind of the dance floor. If they're not more aware of the people around them, it is very likely that they will get smacked with the edges of Kyara's skirt as she spins. Maybe an arm if just roll into it and is they're widespread, and you might get a little smack, but it's all just a love tap. It's fun.
Lovely. As you begin to dance, even though you are chaotic, uncontrollable, this time you hit no one. You dance effortlessly through the crowd, and they part to join you as you pass through like a ship sailing through a river. They begin to spin too in a similar current, breaking the current dance to match yours. Would you give me a wisdom saving throw as the music continues?
It's a natural 20.
You are fully in control of this dream, Kyara. You feel warm and comfortable. You know people are looking at you the way they look at each other here, with excitement, with passion, with cozy smiles. As you dance further towards the front of this ballroom, you see a large and familiar figure who is looking at you. You hear Agnita in your mind. sire. And the cat bends in approximation of a bow. And you see Fire Lord Sadevi Rajan, resplendent in ochre and sapphire and gold, with massive arched and curling horns, gilded like his fangs, his skin deep and ruby and glowing. And as he moves, he leaves trails of flame through the air. This is the Burning Lord, your emperor. He looks at you, Kyara, and he smiles. Hello, daughter of fire.
What is the customary address? How would address to the Lord? Like Fire Lord? What if it was not that?
Any kind of epithet related to flame, you could call him. You could call him Lord. You could call him Father. You could call him Sire, Bane Blessed. The few times you've met him previously, you were expected to show deference, but he does treat many people in the capital with a kind of familiarity.
Kyara. Bow. Sire, surprising to see you here today.
Yes, I do not attend many of these, but I am watching for sparks. Would you give me a charisma check?
I'm so glad it's not a natural one. It's actually just plain charisma.
Plain charisma.
18.
18 with a plain charisma check is very, very good.
There's a 15 on the die.
He steps toward you. You can see behind him indistinct figures, indeterminate genders wearing long muslin gowns, silks, kurtas, head ornaments, jewelry, dripping in gold. He steps forward as if out of a crowd. Not the dancers around you, but that image flickers and fades. And it's just him. The dancers part. He steps forward and he holds out his hand to you.
Kyara is surprised, but she will take the hand.
You take his hand. You hear Agnita. What do you want in your mind? What do you want? And then you feel a feeling you have only felt once before in your life, Kyara. A warmth begins to spread from where the Emperor is touching your hand, up your arms, into your chest, and you feel your blood ignite. Emotions as deep as the ocean, burning inside you. A kind of passionate terror as you feel your body burn. It is a joy and a life. A high that you will be chasing every day after, as you remember your pact being made. Then he steps back, and you feel your body grow cold. And he nods to you and turns away. What do you do?
I think for once Kyara is frozen in place. Is this memory of when this happened, or is this just recalling what did happen?
This isn't exactly the memory of what happened. I don't think you were here in this ballroom when you made your pact. If it is memory, you've remembered this moment plenty of times before, but you've never felt that feeling again. You've never been able to reach that level of intensity in a memory.
I think the first thing Kyara does then is to raise their hands. Or what do they look like?
Give me another wisdom saving throw.
That's a 16 plus 5, 21. Cleric!
For a second, you're worried your hands might blacken and char, but this is your dream and you are in control. Your hands begin to glow like embers, and then they light in the same way that he is a light in flame. You feel like you could do anything. You could burn this whole citadel down. You could reach in and grip the hearts of everyone in it and eat them with sweet red blood on your lips and know their love. What would you like to do?
I think with a free hand, Kyara is going to look for Agnita and basically
On the floor,
hold
looks towards you.
hold her hand out to them.
The cat, looking up at you, gives you a grin that goes from pointed and sharp to pearly white as they reach upward and shift into a form like yours. Agnita, wearing your face, takes your hand. Wow. Whew. God, that's a rush.
Isn't it? Far too much for just me.
You. I think I was right about you being one of my favorites. This is wonderful. Side to side, you look, and the people dancing begin to glow as they too catch fire with this wonderful light. And she pulls you into a spin, and then you are dancing with yourself. Wild and free.
Do the edges of both Kyara's skirt catch light?
Yeah.
As they twirl and spin.
As you dance, looking at the familiar faces, feeling the warm light of the sun here. You breathe out, and smoke issues from your mouth that turns from darkness into white mist. And Agnita says, "Dream well, dear." And then you sink into the floor. And everything is missed once again. And your dream is complete.